Yeah, we are on an international stage, and this is going to be an opportunity for people in our community to be able to shine our region and let people that are from outside our region know that Saginaw truly is Saginawesome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Michigan, where we interview ordinary Michiganders doing some pretty extraordinary things. I'm your host, Cliff Duvinois. I have said this before, and I'm going to keep shouting it until somebody listens, but there's some amazing things that are going on in Saginaw, and the more that I learn, I just have to say it's a God thing. Things are just happening here that are just absolutely amazing, and one of the big things that's happening is the Memorial Cup coming to Saginaw. This is huge. This is absolutely wonderful for the Great Lakes Bay region. And to talk to us about how Saginaw won the Memorial Cup is Craig Goslin, President, Managing Partner of the Saginaw Spirit. Craig, how are you?
Terrific, Cliff. Thanks for having me here. Exciting.
Yes, this is going to be great. I'm really excited to talk about this. So for our audience, people who may not know, just talk to us. What is the Memorial Cup?
Well, the Memorial Cup, Cliff, it's exciting times. This is Canada's national championship. This is like the Final Four in NCAA basketball, the Final Four in NCAA hockey. This is the cream of the crop of the teams. There's 4 teams in the Canadian hockey, there's 3 leagues in the Canadian Hockey League, of which 4 teams will participate in the Memorial Cup. The 3 league champions and the host team.
Right.
And we won the right to bid. We won the bid to host last year. So the 3 league champions will come into Saginaw, competing against the Saginaw Spirit in the Memorial Cup. It truly is divine in nature how this all occurred, and we're so glad, so grateful to our community for supporting us along the way.
So let's go back and unpack a couple of things here, because first off, this really is good news for Saginaw and the surrounding areas. Yeah. I mean, this is absolutely huge. So to take a step back, I want to unpack some of the big things that are around this. So first off, since this is, the Canadian Hockey League, Ontario Hockey League, this is just one of a few times that the Memorial Cup has been outside of Canada.
Yes, it is, Cliff. This is the first time, actually, it's ever been hosted from an Ontario Hockey League community outside of Canada. So since 1919, that's why there's no question this is divine in nature. I mean, it's in the Western League, it's been hosted in the U.S., but never in an Ontario Hockey League market since 1919. So yeah, this is an incredible opportunity for our community to shine on an international stage. It's on international TV, and certainly I know our community is going to do that.
This is just incredible. And then, so the next thing is that this is also too, it's not, Saginaw put in a bid, but there were also other cities that put in a bid as well.
Yes. 3 other iconic hockey communities. Kingston, Ontario, which is a beautiful community on Lake Ontario in Kingston, Ontario. They have a beautiful arena with walking distance from the arena to the hotels, to the restaurants and the shops. We knew that was going to be a tough group to bid against. Niagara, same situation, brand new, beautiful building, Cliff, with walking distance from all the hotels, all the restaurants and shops are all right there near the arena. And of course, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, who had the best team next to Saginaw in the bid of the 4 teams that were bidding. And that was one of the components of the bid. And they too have got a beautiful community right there on the lake. All the amenities that the Sioux has. So we knew we were in for a tough battle, but the 4 components of the bid, which we really worked hard on, now the league gives you these binders. It's a guideline for the bids.
Okay.
And ours ended up being 4 huge 4-inch binders of information we had to go through. So this was an exhausting process just to put the bid in. And it cost well over $100,000 just to do the bid. All right. And so all the energy that went into that really started about January the 10th of 2022 and ended around March the 19th of 2022, really right around the calendar, right around the clock. There was not much downtime there to get this bid in right. And the 4 components of the bid were the hockey operations. Your hockey operation has to be elite, all right, coming back to the following season, because we're competing against 3 league champions. So Saginaw, just so your listeners and viewers understand, we're in the Memorial Cup as the host, right? And so to be able to host, you got to be able to compete against the league champions of the other 3 leagues. So the Western League champion, the Quebec League champion, and the Ontario League champion, they're all going to be here competing against us in the Memorial Cup. And we might be that Ontario Hockey League champion. So if we are the team that we play in the OHL finals, we'll become the other team of the Memorial Cup. So hockey operations, we ace that. We have incredible guys, team coming back. The business operations, Cliff, we have the best business operations in the 60-team CHL. All right, there's 60 teams in the league. Our business operations will outsell the closest competitor in sponsorships by over $1 million.
Nice.
That shows you the quality of our community, shows you the quality of our people, shows you the amount of incredible advertising and sponsorship opportunities we have in our building with all the different bells and whistles of the technology. And all these things come together with a TV broadcast, radio broadcast. All those things come together into what our clients feel are a really good value for their investment. And most of them have been with us for 15, 20 years, our sponsors. So it's an incredible amount of support that we've got. And that's what went into the business. Business operations was number 2. We aced that. Third one was the logistics. Okay, the logistics would then include things like the Fan Fest. That's going to be at the Joel Credit Union Event Park. Our Fan Fest is going to be incredible with country star Walker Hayes doing a concert there. Every night there's going to be concert. Larry McRae, the local jazz musician who's spectacular. Todd Michael Hall, a number of local fantastic talented musicians. The Saginaw Bay Symphony Orchestra is going to be involved. All these things that we're doing at the Fan Fest is going to be incredible. Hockey Hall of Fame is there. So these are the things that we put into the bid. So we kind of nailed that. And then the last part of this whole thing is going to be is the logistics and the local atmosphere. And the local atmosphere, we really nailed that down. And the logistics also includes your hotels, which we're housing the teams in Frankenmuth, at the Bavarian Inn Lodge and the Zender Splash Village Hotel, and also at the Marriott's in Frankenmuth. And Little Bavaria, it's one of our community's greatest assets. Indeed. And it's one of the greatest places in the United States to take a family and enjoy a time. And we're hoping that the Ontario visitors come in by the tens of thousands and enjoy our Great Lakes Bay regions. And a lot of that's going to be happening in Frankenmuth.
Oh, I bet. And we're definitely going to unpack that. What I would like to do is I'd like to take a step back to kind of like day one.
Yep.
When you thought to yourself, maybe we could win this.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What was that conversation like? What was that thought process
Well,
like?
actually, I've been at 10 of the last 11 Memorial Cups. So I'm a good observer. I've observed how to do it and sometimes how not to do it.
Right.
The majority of the hosts of the Memorial Cups have done a phenomenal job in our league. The community's put a tremendous amount of energy into it. So I picked out kind of the best of things that we might want to do when the day comes that we have the ability to host the Memorial Cup. But the stars all have to align. First off, as I mentioned earlier, this was divine in nature. There's no question about that. God had
Indeed.
a hand. He had definitely had a hand in all this. Our hockey operations lined up. Our business operations lined up. Everything lined up for us to bid on this thing and to win the bid. That was number one. Number 2 was Dick Garber. Dick Garber, when I presented this to Dick, we have to guarantee a certain amount of dollars back to the owners of the CHL for hosting the Memorial Cup. The property actually belongs to the league. It doesn't belong to Saginaw. All right, so we got to guarantee there's so much. So I sat down with Dick and explained to him, if you want to get something from Dick, I always learned that you need to take him to the Panda House in Saginaw. It's his favorite restaurant. And so I took Dick to lunch at the Panda House. And he typically knows, he's such a smart guy, too. He knows if we're going to the Panda House that I'm going to be asking for something, So basically, so what do you need? And he knew I was interested in bidding on the Memorial Cup. And I think he knew going in that I was going to have an ask on this. And I put it together for him and asked him, at the end of the day, we got to guarantee so much money back to the league. And he said, what's this going to cost us? And I said, potentially up to $750,000. And he said, go ahead and do it. Just shows you the quality of person Dick is, how much this community means to Dick. And he said, can you nibble down on that a little bit, maybe get that down? And actually, I think we have nibbled down to where it's going to be close to zero. So at the end of the day,
nice.
we won't make anything on this, but it's going to be a great thing for the community. And that's what we're all about. It really is. It's all about the community anyways, at the end of the day. Not exactly. Dick nor I or anybody here involved in our ownership are in this for the dollars. We're in this because we love Saginaw. We love this community.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting you say the word community, because we're gonna unpack that in a little bit. So had you ever done anything like this before at this scale?
No, never have. But like I said, I observed how it's been done. We hosted the All-Star Game, the first ever All-Star Game here in the U.S. too as well. That was in 2007. Nothing like this. That was just one game. And we also were the first franchise in the OHL and the CHL to host an outdoor game. Which was done at Comerica Park with my good friends from the Detroit Red Wings and the Ilitch family. So we were able to get that done. So we played Windsor. It's the largest crowd ever in the history of the OHL. We had 31,000 people at the Saginaw Windsor game at Comerica Park. It was cool. So we've done some cool things in the past. So we had a history of with the site selection committee of doing some good things. They trusted us. They knew we could do it. And so not at this scale though, Cliff. I've never had anything in terms of saying, okay, we're going to host this thing and this is how we're going to do it.
So I know you're a big team guy.
Yeah.
You come back to your team and you're like, okay, we're going to make this happen.
Yes.
Right. Well, how did your team respond? How did that go?
The team is been 100% on board from the start. This has put a lot of work on them, by the way, and they have been incredible. I've got great people, and if God's blessed me with anything, He's blessed me with the ability to hire really good people.
Yes.
I recognize talent, and I can recognize how to put that talent to work into a team. So there's sometimes I interview people and they got great talent and they're deserving of the job, but there's something that doesn't quite mix in as one of the links in the chain.
Right.
And sometimes it takes me a long time to hire somebody, and that frustrates the staff sometimes because the work is on them until I get somebody in that place. But once we do, typically we have an incredible staff member and a team member, and that's what we got here. We have an incredible group of talented people, high character, that work together to get things done. I've never seen, actually, I mean, you can put our business team on any sports team in the United States or Canada, and we would improve the results of both the game day operations, the sponsorships, all those things, ticket sales. They're incredible, and we're blessed with great. So people give Dick and I a lot of the credit a lot of times, and I guess what I deserve credit for is hiring really good people, and they make me look a lot better than I am. I'm telling you right now, and certainly the faith that we all have in God's divine hand on our franchise. It's called the Saginaw Spirit for a reason, and we certainly feel that His hand has been all over this franchise and what it's done for this community, and also certainly the Memorial Cup coming here to Saginaw. All the glory goes to Him, without question.
Without question.
Yeah.
You were talking before about the 4 main criteria for the bid, and I could see a lot of people saying to themselves, well, okay, so Saginaw doesn't have this, Saginaw doesn't have this, Saginaw doesn't have this. But you took a very unique approach, and you mentioned this earlier about, for instance, Frankenmuth.
Yes.
Being where they house it and everything else. But it's not just Frankenmuth, though. It's Frankenmuth. It is Midland. It is all these other
Isabella County. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
All these other counties and everything. Talk to us about the thought process of saying, you know what, Saginaw is not isolated. Let's bring everybody else in.
Cliff, it's so rewarding to see the Great Lakes Bay region come together with the oars in the water, all rowing in the same direction. And that's what we have here. Dow is the title sponsor of this Memorial Cup. They're a Midland-centric company. And there's only been 2 sponsors of the Memorial Cup in our history since 1919, Kia and MasterCard. Now the third one is Dow. So it's so exciting to see how our region has come together to support this. It's going to cost over $5 million, Cliff, to host this. Right? To do it right, to do it big, to give the fans an experience that's second to none. It's $5 million all day plus, right? And the community has come together to help us to get there, or get close to it anyways. Like I said, I'm not sure we'll get over it. We'll get close because we got to guarantee the league back so much money, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, the region has come together. One of the things that Dick Garber did when he bought this franchise, he explained to the Board of Governors that we're going to market to the entire 400,000 people in this region. All right, so Midland County, Bay County, Saginaw County, Mount Pleasant, Isabella, Aranac, outside the end of the thumb. And that's what we've done. All right, the success of our program is that 30% of our revenue comes from Midland County, 18% from Bay County. All right, we get 5 or 6 or 7% from Aranac, the thumb, and areas outside of that, even Genesee County to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. And that's what, when you look at a successful business model, 52 to 53% of our revenue comes from outside of Saginaw County. Right, that's a great thing, right? And then you got, of course, the core base that's here in Saginaw County. It's been incredible. So it's a great example as to how to use the entire region to come together to make something special happen.
Oh, I bet. And part of it was when you were talking before about Dick Garber and the hockey team that was here. There was actually a little bit of a sting, because the other hockey team kind of just
yes. And that was part of the problems with the Board of Governors when they granted Dick Garber a franchise, was that the history of hockey in Saginaw, the Saginaw years early with Ren Blair was great. That was a league that was directly in line with the National Hockey League as their top affiliate. But once that franchise had gone into a different route, the leagues that came in here and the ownership groups that came in here behind that weren't quite that good. It wasn't necessarily the ownership groups, it was the leagues. The leagues weren't very good, right? And so what happened was the last league that left here, the owner and the league left in the middle of the night, holding the season ticket holders and sponsors. Basically they left them high and dry.
Right.
And so now here we come along with an OHL team, but we had a great owner, got a great league, and then the community renovated the Dow Event Center. That being the Saginaw County taxpayers. The Saginaw County taxpayers rented that Dow Event Center. That was the first link of the chain that brought us all together. so that we could do things like host the Memorial Cup. So really, you can trace all this back to the Saginaw County taxpayers in 2002. If they had said no to that millage to renovate that building, there'd be no Saginaw Spirit. There'd likely be no Great Lakes Loons. All these different things that have happened after that vote by the Saginaw County taxpayers. I'm forever grateful to those folks. And it's amazing how all these things happen when you get a yes to something like that.
Man, indeed, I've got goosebumps just thinking about how saying yes to that millage now, one of the big benefits is, of course, is the Memorial Cup coming to town.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do is I'd like to explore that, but we're going to take a quick break to thank our sponsors. And when we come back, we're just going to learn more about winning the Memorial Cup and what you can expect when you come here. We'll see you after the break. Hey, if you are enjoying these great interviews, just take a moment and go to totalmichigan.com/join, and you can get these episodes sent directly to your inbox because there's a lot more great stories coming. See you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Michigan, where we interview ordinary Michiganders doing some pretty extraordinary things. I'm your host, Cliff Duvenois. Today, we are talking all things Memorial Cup and the awesome things that are going on in Saginaw. And sitting with me today is the president and managing partner of the Saginaw Spirit, and that would be Craig Goslin. Craig, before the break, we were talking about really the Great Lakes Bay region basically coming together to help make the Memorial Cup bid happen.
Absolutely.
Now, what I would like to do is, because we talked before about how there's some money cost and you had to, there's money that you got to put down for the bid and everything else. But what I would like to do is I'd like to look at the flip side of the coin and talk about the money that's coming into now the region, because I can imagine that ROI is going to be huge.
It is, Cliff, and it's the economic impact is going to be well above $30 million. I think it's north of $40 million when you get down. When you look at the renovation of the building, just in the legacy projects alone, that it looks like we're around $18 million in legacy projects, things that are going to be here well beyond the Memorial Cup. So the amount of economic impact to our restaurants and to our hoteliers and to our convenience stores and others that are going to benefit from those that are coming here from outside our area to spend money, and that's a wonderful thing.
So I would like to take a step back here. So we're potentially looking at north of 40 million.
Yes.
For an economic impact. And you mentioned really briefly the legacy projects that are going to extend. So this isn't something where we're just pumping a bunch of money in, we're going to look good for 10 days, and then afterwards business as usual. This is ongoing.
Cliff, it's incredible. Again, it's divine in nature. Nobody could have done this without the hand of God on this. And one of them that sticks out, there's a number that stick out, but Quentin Messer from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, he's the CEO. Joe Frost is a local representative for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. We put a presentation to them, to the state, for $1 million for a food truck alley that will perpetuate here long after the Memorial Cup. So food trucks can come down. People come downtown for lunch at these food trucks. Spring, summer, fall type thing. And so the food truck alley was presented to them. We were hoping to get a portion of that. They were able to get that across the finish line with the state. We got the whole thing.
Sweet.
So the $1 million came in for that. The other thing that's really, really been gratifying is that Dan Kildee and Jake Bennett, who is the local representative for Dan Kildee, helped Glenn over at Stars and Jimmy Green here locally and Kayla Pionk, our local event manager, put together a grant request to the federal government for $5 million for 10 new buses at Stars. And they leveraged the Memorial Cup on that you know what, we need new buses to be going and transporting people throughout the city of Saginaw and throughout Saginaw County for the Memorial Cup. And some of the buses were in disrepair. And Dan Kildee and his group took that to federal appropriations, and they got it approved. And now we have 10 new buses at Stars. $5 million. So there's all, and then the other thing is the new mural that's on the outside of the parking deck at the Dow Event Center. That's one of the legacy projects. All of the LED ribbon inside the Dow with the curved wall display, those are $1.5 million total for all of that. So you look at all the different things that happened because of the Memorial Cup. And not to mention the renovation of the building by Saginaw County and Spence Brothers. An amazing amount of work done. Now that's going to be $9 or $10 million. You can include that in the economic impact. And then one of the coolest things of all is the Hoyt Park project that Mr. Garber's doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And what he's doing there basically is we asked Dick to take a look at working with Larry Brethauer and the Friends of Hoyt Park to leave a legacy project for the Memorial Cup. Since since the community is doing so much for the Memorial Cup, what can we give back? And particularly Dick, all right? And anybody who knows Dick Garber knows that this man has a philanthropic heart beyond the ordinary, to say the least.
Yes.
And so Dick took a trip down there with Larry Brethauer. They looked at what they needed there. I spoke to Larry multiple times about that he needed a new pavilion because he wants to attract baseball teams, softball teams, things like that come into the region and stay in our hoteliers, eat in our restaurants, that type of thing. But the park needed to be updated. We need new lights, we need new bleachers, we need a pavilion, we need the new fencing, all that type of stuff. Dick had Larry price it out. It's going to be over $2 million. I thought, well, this is something that we'll do as a community over time.
Right.
Dick said, go ahead and do it.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's going to get done, and hopefully that's going to be something that well beyond the Memorial Cup. We're going to put plaques in each one of these areas, by the way. The Henry Marsh Bridge Project is another one that worked with Annie Rummel and the Convention and Visitors Bureau to do for the Memorial Cup. All these things, we're going to put plaques in every one of these areas that said this project is here because of the support this community give to the 2024 CHL Memorial Cup presented by Dow. So it's pretty cool. A lot of neat things happen well beyond the ending of the Memorial Cup June 2nd.
And this is good when you start talking about Dan Kildee, right?
Yeah.
Who's our federal representative
Yes, he
down
is.
here.
Yeah.
We're talking like all hands on deck now.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking Washington all
Governor,
the way down.
Governor Whitmer, she's coming to our Arrival of the Cup ceremony.
Nice.
Doug Ford, who is the premier of Ontario, he's coming. All right. So yeah, it's an incredible amount of. It's pretty humbling actually when you see God work, and you see Him work through us. I'm just an average guy here, and I see that.
I would disagree with that.
Well,
but okay.
yeah, I when you look at the power of God, I'm pretty average.
All right, on that scale,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no, and he's worked through me and through others in this project to do some extraordinary things, and it's quite amazing actually, and it's all you do is take a look around you, and you see all the things that he's doing that's beyond the ordinary, and it's very humbling for me, to quite frankly.
So speaking of humbling, I'd like to talk to you a couple minutes about, you put the bid in, all hands on deck, everybody's on board. You put this bid in, and you're just okay. Now it's like the waiting game.
Yep.
Right. So in between of that time, right, did you go through this typical, man, maybe we should have done this, or maybe we could have added this, or maybe we could have done a little bit more or something?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought we nailed it. When we put the bid in, and actually we had to present the bid to the CHL Site Selection Committee. All right, and there's 7 people on that committee.
Okay.
All right, so each community has to present the bid. The day that we presented that bid, Dave Drinkle, our general manager, our head coach Chris Lasry, Mr. Garber was there, along with the county representatives from ASM Global who manage the Dow Event Center, our broadcasting director, our vice president, and our CFO. All these folks were in the room, and after we did the proposal to the CHL Site Selection Committee, we looked around at each other and we all looked and said, "Wow." That was amazing, all right?
Yeah.
And again, it's divine. I mean, it's we none of us take credit for it because it wasn't us. We just feel it was above us, and it was an incredible success that day. And we all felt really good about it. We felt that if somebody's going to beat our bid, they've deserved it and they've earned it, all right? Because we put together a great bid.
Yes.
And we put together a great proposal as to why Saginaw, why the region. We're going to grow this league by tens of thousands of new fans for the league. Because before the Memorial Cup was given to Saginaw as a host, since that time we've already generated tens of thousands of new fans to the league. People are looking and saying, "Oh, what is the OHL? What is this? What is this all about?" Then they come to a game and they're like, "Wow, these athletes are unbelievable!" Right?
Yes.
And the athletes on our ice are equivalent to the top athletes in the world in their age group. They're the best. They're the best athletes in the world in their age group. So when you see these amazing, highly skilled athletes playing here in Saginaw, people. I had somebody tell me a couple weeks ago, said, "Man, I didn't know what I was missing. Where have I been?" He said, "This is incredible,
Yes.
and I want to buy season tickets." He said, "This is great." So so that's what we're hoping to do, is grow the brand of the OHL, grow the brand of the CHL throughout the entire state of Michigan and beyond.
Certainly. And so I want to visit this. So now it's announcement time.
Yeah.
Right? They're getting ready to announce who the city is, who won, right? Because there's 4 cities that are involved with this.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to announce it. They come across and they say, Saginaw won the bid.
Yes.
What was it like?
Well, for me, it was extremely humbling. It was a very spiritual experience for me because I give all the glory to God. And I can tell you he's the one that made this happen. So for me, it was getting on my knees and thanking God.
Beautiful. And one of the things I would also like to talk to in the time that we've got remaining is, because you talked before about this being 10 days.
Yes.
So there's so much that's going on. And you mentioned the orchestra. And at the very beginning, you mentioned a couple of like big name musicians coming in. So what I would like to do is if somebody's listening to this and are thinking to themselves, you know what, I want to go check this out.
Yeah.
What can they expect?
Well, they want to come to the Arrival Cup ceremony. It's free. It's May 23rd at 4 p.m. at the Joel Credit Union Park. You want to be there for that. It's going to be awesome. All right, and we're gonna the whole community's on display there. That's where we're gonna have a parade coming in there with the Arrival Cup, and that's gonna be at 4 p.m. But what they're gonna be able to expect is the Fan Fest itself. It's sponsored by UA Local 85, and we're grateful to Justin Palmerville and his whole group there for stepping up and sponsoring that for us. And the Fan Fest itself is going to have the Hockey Hall of Fame there, and
Nice.
for a day or two, we're going to have the Stanley Cup, and that's going to be part of the footprint of the Fan Fest. Along with inside the Fan Fest itself, you're going to have music each day. It starts at 4 p.m. All right, each day. Games are at 7. All right, or 7:30ish, depending on what TV. TSN really and national TV kind of just directs what time our game starts. And but from 4 p.m. to let's just say 7:30 each night, there's going to be activities in and around that Fan Fest, which is when we're closing off the street on Johnson. So that whole area from the Dow Event Center all the way through the back of the Joel Credit Union Event Park is going to be all Fan Fest. And a number of activities in there, from face painters to live music to food truck alleys and a number of activities, balloon artists. We're gonna have there's so many activities in there so you can't remember them all. But it's going to be something for families. It's family oriented. You're going to want to bring the kids down and let the kids just enjoy something very special. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. We're likely never to host this again in our lifetime. So it's something that you're going to want to have you and your kids and your grandkids come down and say, you know what, I was at the World Cup in Saginaw in 2024.
And talk about never hosting it again. And you mentioned this before I turned on the microphones, but this is being televised nationally, internationally.
Yes.
I mean, Saginaw is going to get a ton of airtime for this.
For that alone, it's worth what we're getting. If you check the airtime we've already gotten, we have a 9-part episode out right now that's called Spirit Rising. That's on international TV. And this is a 9-part behind-the-scenes look of the Saginaw Spirit. So if your listeners haven't seen it yet, just go to YouTube and put in Spirit Rising. We've gone through the first 5 episodes right now. They're awesome. They're 23 minutes apiece. Kind of made for television because they got to put 7 minutes of ads in there. But they've gotten great reviews, and it's an ESPN quality broadcast. And it's a behind-the-scenes look at the quest for the World Cup for the Saginaw Spirit. And it's kind of like if you saw the HBO series with the NFL with Hard Knocks, with the Miami Dolphins, and they did one with the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to that, where they get with the players, they get with the coaches, and they get with the owners, and we kind of had it's been a blast, but it shows you kind of the everyday happenings of a major junior team. What a player goes through when he goes to school in the morning, when he goes to the rink, and what he has to do to prepare for a hockey game. It's amazing what these young student athletes go through to prepare for you. So that Spirit Rising is incredible. So yeah, and then we're going to be on international TV on TSN, which is Canada's version of ESPN. All right, and then we're also on the NHL Network, and we're going to be here CBS locally. So we are on an international stage, and this is going to be an opportunity for people in our community to be able to shine our region and let people that are from outside our region know that Saginaw truly is Saginawesome. Yeah, that's what I call it.
Man, I could not have pictured a better way to draw this interview to a close. Saginawesome.
Saginawesome. We are Saginawesome, and the people are. I mean, we have great people, and at the end of the day, when you look at results of things around here, it's all about people. And when you got this kind of commitment from people, and you look in the eyes. I'll tell you, one of the greatest things that I do at a game, Cliff, is look at the smiles on faces.
Yes.
And you watch a young man. In fact, I had a situation occur earlier in the year. We haven't lost many hockey games this year, by the way. The team is, I think we're 46-9 in our last.
Nice.
Yeah, we won 50 games this year, so an incredible start to what we hope is going to be a Memorial Cup final. But this friend of mine was walking outside the arena, and I like to greet fans as they leave. So I'm out in the atrium, and I'm thanking people. And we'd lost the game. I'd had a sour look on my face, and he's got his daughter on his arm, his son on his shoulders. They got balloons. They got their face painted. They got all kinds of merchandise. He's got flags. He's just loaded up, right? And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Goose, we had a great time." And I said, "Oh, I'm glad you had it." He said, "Well, what's the sour face?" It was a big game for us. And he looked at his kids. He said, "Look at the smiles on these faces." And I needed that at the time. I said, "You know what? You're right. Sorry." I said, "That's what it's all about right there. Look at the smiles on those kids' faces." Mm-hmm. And when they I watch them walk outside, they're in the door, and I said, "You know what? That's what it's all about." Yep. Those young kids, those kids coming here had a great time with Dad, and they want to come back again, right? And that's what it's all about. When people leave, they come back. They say, "You know what? That was fun. I had a great time, and I want to go back again." And that's what we hope to do with the Memorial Cup, not just with the fans, but also with potential investors in the future. That they come here, they see this community, they see something that's right here, right now, that could go here and say, "You know what? Let's make an investment in that community."
Yes.
And I think we'll draw a few with some of those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Craig, if somebody's listening to this, they want to check out more about Saginaw Spirit, they want to come see the Memorial Cup.
Yep.
What's the best way for them to do that?
Go to Saginawspirit.com. All right, and on there you're going to see all of our information. At the top, you're going to see a spot where you can click on for the Memorial Cup, and there's a drop-down list on there. And if you want to buy tickets, they're on there. If you just want information, it's on there. You're going to see the map of the Fan Fest. That's
nice.
That's all on there. So everything that we're talking about here today, Cliff, a fan can just go to Saginawspirit.com and click on the Memorial Cup heading on the top there, and you'll be able to drop down to all the activities of the Memorial Cup. So it's all right there. Kayla Pyack, again, done an incredible job, an amazing job organizing this. We're so organized, we're ready to start tomorrow. And, yeah, and it's stress free. We're all, it's like you know,
just excited now.
You know that the staff has done a great job when there's no stress. Everybody's kind of, hey, we got this,
Yeah,
and it's going really, really well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. Craig, thank you so much for taking time out of your super busy schedule to talk to us today.
Yeah, this is great, and I welcome your listeners to come out to the Memorial Cup and really come out and enjoy. And the word is enjoy a celebration of something that this community did that's really special.
Yes. Awesome. And for our audience, you can always roll on over to totalmichigan.com and click on Craig's interview and get the links that he mentioned above. We'll catch you next time when we talk to another Michigander doing some pretty extraordinary things. We'll see you then.